Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we're going to show you how. Now, let's get started.
Thank you for tuning in today. You are now listening to That Will Never Work podcast with your host, Maurice Chisholm. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Again, as we are closing out this year, one of the things that I would like to say to you is one of the things that I've learned, and I liken it to where my children are currently. For those of you who know, they are in college, and my oldest is on the verge of graduating from school with her bachelor's of psychology, or bachelor of science in psychology. I'm sorry, I believe it was arts. She's liberal arts. I guess it's arts, right? So, the reality is that as we are speaking to her and talking to her about what her next steps are, because ultimately she would like to get her doctorate degree moving forward. So what happens is she's entertaining quite a few schools. She's entertaining different disciplines, if you will, leading all to the same place, but she's considering moving from home. And here's the reason why this is significant for me. Because I had not envisioned her moving from home. Now, it's one thing to be on campus for her undergrad, knowing that she'll be home every summer, every break, things like that. But at this particular time, she's looking into universities for this doctoral program where she will be not just moving to go to school, but she's actually moving to get her own place. And some of those places that she's looking to move to are anywhere between 4 to 8 hours away. Now, here's what the challenge is. The challenge is that in order to grow, sometimes you need to get away from where you're comfortable. That's not easy to do. As I look at my daughter and I remember those moments of being her age and wanting to go out and explore and conquer the world, things like that. But I do believe that as we get older, we become a little more conservative. Sometimes we're not as advantageous or adventurous. And when we are taking a look at what is going on in our lives, i.e. the golden handcuffs, sometimes it's harder for us to move forward. So, unfortunately, in order to grow in this new year, you might need to leave home to grow. You might need to leave home to mature. You might need to leave home, meaning you might need to leave what was comfortable in the past, become a little uncomfortable to grow. When we think about growing up in our elementary and middle school and early high school years, as we start to become into our own, we have awkward moments. We have moments or things where we feel out of place and we don't fit in and we're not in with the in crowd or the out crowd. We're nerds and not nerds, and we're sports individuals and not, so we have these moments where we're jockeying for position, right? And you feeling uncomfortable. And then you get to, and I know for myself, you get to a point where you're in your 20s, you're starting to feel a little bit better about yourself. Now you're 30s, and now I'm in my 40s, and I am comfortable with where I am. It's taking me some time, but the reality is I have to get myself uncomfortable to get to the next stage of my life. So I challenge each and every one of you right now that as you are sitting down and writing out your goals on your vision board, as you are reviewing any of the old episodes this past year of attitude and work ethic and effort and understand what the golden handcuffs are and understanding where your relationships are. When we spoke to some of our interviews or when we had our interviews earlier in the year, things like that, when you start to understand where things need to get to it and how it needs to grow and mature, sometimes you have to be in an uncomfortable space in order for you to achieve or for you to reach your ultimate goal. And in this, other people may be uncomfortable, i.e. like my daughter going to school. I am uncomfortable, right? So that doesn't mean that she's not uncomfortable, but I'm uncomfortable also. But in order for her to grow, I have to grow too. So you're not sure who else will be growing with you, alongside of you, maybe right behind you as you're moving forward. I thank you very much for listening today. Let's make this thing happen in 2023.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.